Hi, we are in Freakhead today going over the portable monitor stand that I have uploaded to Printables. I have cascaded these two windows to show that these are the parameters in the spreadsheet that these numbers will affect the angles of the stand and the length and everything. So this one is at 45 and this one is at 60. These are my most commonly used angles. So that's why I have only uploaded this one with these angles. So by changing these numbers, say we want to have a 75-degree angle instead of a 60, it recomputes it so that the design actually changes, but the stand length actually does stay the same. The only thing that will change is these angles, which will affect this, how far between the base of each point in the middle is, and these bricks or these blocks at the front, which should be 20 millimeters high to hold the portable monitor in, but not cover up any part of the screen. So if we really needed to, we could change these two for if we need a lower profile for, say, a tablet or any basically any flat surface. So if we change this to 10, we can see that they just drop down. We'll change that back to 20. And this height right now is from parameter to the monitor height divided by 5. So this right here, where my mouse is going, is 50 millimeters. Let me say that again. 50 millimeters tall. I wanted to keep it the lowest possible that I felt comfortable with, because, and that was 1/5 of the entire monitor height, because depending on how low you change your angle over here, you are going to affect where the weight of the tablet is at that point. So the higher the angle, the more weight will go down here on the base. But if you would have too steep of angle, you would have the majority of the weight not on the base anymore. So that's also where the stand length comes into play here too. Because if you would make this shorter and also have the angle steeper, you may run into the issue of your monitor tipping over. So that's why it's very conservative in its design of what you can do with it. The portable monitor width won't really matter, because if you print a small one of these for both sides, 2 would be fine enough for my 17-inch monitor. So this is just for reference for me. It doesn't affect anything. However, if you did want a thicker stand because I designed it lightweight to be as portable and as quick of print as I felt comfortable with. Right now, this is 10 millimeters thick. So if I want to, I could change this parameter and bump it up really high and totally change the whole look of the stand and it being thicker, which would not be the worst case if you only want to print one and did like this thicker design. However, I just went with 10 and printed 2 because it's quicker print, and I can take these and use these holes and hang them up at the end of the day when they're not in use. The wall thickness will change how thick the thing looks. I was comfortable with 3 because it looks very, very lightweight and feels lightweight here. The base thickness will affect these borders. These borders are the 10 plus the wall thickness, and then this border on the bottom is just the base. So if we want to, we could bump this up twice as much, and eventually, yeah, and now it recomputes and changes the entire design. Now it recomputes and changes how thick the base looks. So we'll change this back to 10, and we will change everything back to what we started with. So if I recall the correct dimensions for the original, I believe I have everything set. So right now I will show a limitation of this. So if we change this to a 30-degree angle, it can't recompute. And if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, it gave the error message of cannot recompute. So we'll undo that. And if we really need to go to a steeper angle like that, what we can do is it seems like 150 degrees is lowest we can go at this length that we have right here. So if we really needed to, we could take this 150 millimeters that is the length and change it to 200. So I would know that this still can print on my printer. And now it should recompute. I don't see the need of having a 90-degree angle unless you're storing it upright, because for me a 90-degree angle is not very easily seen. And another note that I will say is these angles, you can see it more in the 90-degree angle. This is 90 degrees, and this front angle is always 5 degrees more, so that it allows the monitor stand to go in a little bit easier and not have as much pressure on the front to avoid any unnecessary friction with the monitor or tablet or phone. So same with this one. Because it's 30 degrees, this one is actually 35 degrees in the front. The monitor will rest at 30 degrees still. We also could change the base thickness to a point before it will not recompute anymore. And that we will see that like if we would go back to 150, we would have the recompute failed again, which that means that's just the saying that there are limitations to what you can do with the angles that you use, but right as of where it stands right now, you can change a lot of parameters and change the look of your stand very easily by changing a number. And once you have changed everything that you want to, we're gonna actually make this a bit of a change from the original. So now I've changed the shape just a little bit. I can go to the body and either go up to File and Export, or Command E, and it will export to our file location. We should be able to take the model that we just exported from FreeCAD and open it in our slicer with the correct orientation for printing and generate the G code from that, print it, and unless you make this much thicker or longer, generally it will take about 1 hour per piece. So here we are in Prusa Slicer with our model that we just created in FreeCAD. It's sitting on the print bed exactly how we want to print it. And I'm not going to change any settings from the default settings because how it is right now with such thin walls, the perimeters will make it as durable as it needs to without adding any infill or any special settings. At 0.3 millimeters for layer height, I don't have on my printer. It's gonna take about an hour to print each one. I'm just gonna print 2 of these because that's all I will need. Your mileage may vary depending on what angles you use, what slicer you use, what printer you have. But overall, this model is very flexible with what you can do with these parameters. Hopefully my little tutorial here has helped you be able to make and modify this model for your use case. If it hasn't, please do not hesitate to contact me. I will make every effort to try to get back to you to help you create what you need to. Thank you for joining me today.